machine gun, leaving himself completely vulnerable to the enemy. And both times he was recognized for his bravery. Or, as Don put it in a letter home, I guess they think I'm really gung-ho or something. And then one morning, Don and his squad set out on patrol, past that rice paddy, down that trail, when those shots rang out. When the lead soldier's foot tripped that wire and set off the booby trap, the grenade rolled right to Don's feet. And at that moment, he could have run. At that moment, he could have ducked for cover. But Don did something truly extraordinary. He reached down and he picked that grenade up. And he turned to throw it. But there were Americans in front of him and behind him, inside the kill zone. So Don held on to that grenade. And he pulled it close to his body. And he bent over it. And then, as one of the men said, all of a sudden there was a boom. The blast threw the lead soldier up against a boulder. Men were riddled with shrapnel. 4 were medevaced out. But everyone else survived. Don had absorbed the brunt of the explosion with his body. He saved the lives of those next to him. And today, we're joined by 2 men who were with him on that patrol, Sergeant William Hacker and Specialist Michael Moline. For decades, Don's family only knew that he was killed in action. They'd heard that he had stepped on a landmine. All those years, this Gold Star family honored the memory of their son and brother, whose name is etched forever on that granite wall not far from here. Late in her life, Don's mother, Evelyn, finally learned the full story of her son's sacrifice. And she made it her mission to have Don's actions properly recognized. Now, sadly, nearly 3 years ago, Evelyn passed away. But she always believed. We are honored that Don and his mom are represented here today by Don's brother, sisters, and their families. On behalf of this American family, I'd ask Don's brother, Dr. Bill Sloat, to come forward for the reading of the citation and accept the gratitude of our nation.
The President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress, March 3, 1863, has awarded in the name of Congress the Medal of Honor to Specialist 4 Donald P. Sloat, United States Army. Specialist 4 Donald P. Sloat distinguished himself by acts of gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while serving as a machine gunner with Company D, 2nd Battalion, 1st Infantry Regiment, 196th Light Infantry Brigade, Americal Division, during combat operations against an armed enemy in the Republic of Vietnam on January 17, 1970. On that morning, Specialist 4 Sloat's squad was conducting a patrol, serving as a blocking element in support of tanks and armored personnel carriers in the area. As the squad moved up a small hail and file formation, the lead soldier tripped a wire attached to a hand grenade booby trap set up by enemy forces. As the grenade rolled down the hill, Specialist 4 Sloat knelt and picked up the grenade. After initially attempting to throw the grenade, Specialist 4 Sloat realized that detonation was imminent. He then drew the grenade to his body and shielded his squad members from the blast, saving their lives. Specialist 4 Sloat's actions define the ultimate sacrifice of laying down his own life in order to save the lives of his comrades. Specialist 4 Donald P. Sloat's extraordinary heroism and selflessness above and beyond the call of duty are in keeping with the highest traditions of military service and reflects great credit upon himself, Company D, 2nd Battalion, 1st Infantry Regiment, 196th Light Infantry Brigade, Americal Division, and the United States Army.
At this point, I'd like to ask Benny Atkins to come join me on stage.